for an online traffic coordinator. The first question you would ask is why I would be a great fit for the job. The first reason is that I've spent probably the last 5 years trying to get good at building websites and having successful business online. So I've built 5 or 6 websites. In the process, I've learned a lot about basically what's required to make a successful website. I've used things like Google AdWords, dealt with sales copy, that sort of thing. Just tried to basically break the code as far as what's necessary to make something successful online. Not to say that all of the websites I've made have been successful. I've had a lot of failures in the arena, but at the same time I've learned a lot in the process, and I keep on sort of fine-tuning and honing what I need to do for the next sort of web business to make that successful. So I've had a lot of experience there, designing websites, making websites, working with folks to contract building a website via like Elance and Odesk and that sort of thing. I also have an interest in marketing, especially online marketing. What I think is really interesting about online marketing is basically the amount of leverage that you can potentially get as opposed to having a brick and mortar business. I feel like the online arena, you can potentially reach a huge number of people with a very low cost to you through like viral marketing and social media, which is basically what you guys specialize in. I'm also an avid reader on marketing topics and ideas. I think it's really interesting, things like positioning. Product positioning, creating an identity for your product instead of being a commodity, creating a community associated with your website or your product that will help propagate the ideas that you want to put forth, and basically help build a community and fans that will then tell other people about what you have to offer. As far as social media that I use, I'm a big user of Facebook, Meetup. I'm not a really big Twitter user. I just haven't got into it as far as just doing little updates and stuff. I have a LinkedIn page, but Facebook's the main thing I use. I feel like that's the core thing to use. I feel like Twitter could be really useful for sort of spreading little news snippets and getting information out about a particular topic, or to send people to a page, but I don't feel like it's as exhaustive as you can be on Facebook as far as the conversation goes. And then the last thing was the 3 steps that I would implement to create a successful website. What I've experienced in the past in creating websites is that if you just put information out there for people, like content, basically that's not generally enough to propagate your message. Basically, so the first thing I would do to launch a successful social media campaign is, of course, you have to have a website, a place for the information to be propagated from. What I think is really important is basically building a community around your website, which means staying in contact with people, getting the folks who visit your website into your newsletter, sort of having this sense of community. And then there also needs to be community interaction. And I think the community ideally should be focused around something that is basically of interest or is unique or different or something. So that sense of community has to be built around something, and then the stronger sort of idea which the community is built around will be the stronger that community will be, and then the more people will want to propagate that message, or the fans of your idea are going to want to propagate your message if you have a strong community, or sorry, a strong idea. And then the third step I would use, so first step would be creating a website with a newsletter. The second step would be having a sense of community on your website, which I feel like that's something you need to design into the idea, the community aspect, not just having something there, having a static page, but having like this is where everything's happening is our website or these ideas that we're propagating. And then I would expand that to Facebook, basically enable the website so if someone reads something they really like, they can share it on Facebook. So to sum it up, basically you have a website or you have an idea. Within that idea, you're going to have core fans that are into your idea. You want to snag those people and pull them into your idea and get them as close as possible. And those sort of core people that you capture are going to be the ones that actually do a lot of your marketing for you. So basically creating that strong community and allowing those people to spread your message by building in Facebook and Twitter and letting them tell their friends, and then they expand the message for you, and then ideally bringing in more people to grow your community, and essentially you have word of mouth marketing for everything that you do on your website. And then I feel like traditional advertising, as far as using like Google AdWords or Facebook advertising, it's basically just to sort of jumpstart that process of getting more people into your community to use word of mouth to propagate your message and reach your objectives. As far as measuring the results, if you to decide whether you had a successful campaign or not, I think this would have to do with what your objectives were in the first place. For instance, if you're trying to get a lot of people to sign up to a newsletter or something like that, then you obviously want to make sure that that happened. But as far as a social media campaign, I would say if your business has a Facebook page, you want to make sure that if you start this campaign, that now you have a lot more people that are like you on Facebook and are listening to your message on Facebook, are talking about you on Facebook, are twittering things that you said on Twitter. Another thing I think is basically searching for yourself on Google, maybe the article or articles you had written, and try to see how much you're growing in terms of how much people are talking about you, how much people are linking to you. But ultimately, I would say the object of a successful social media campaign is to grow your business, get more traffic to your website, get more customers, and basically using Facebook and Google to search for those things would be the best way that I would think of to measure whether you had success in that area or not. So again, please consider me for this. I have a deep interest in online marketing. It's something that I've been reading about for a long time. I feel like there's some limitations in terms of your implementation of marketing ideas. For me and my websites, I feel like there's a certain amount of basically things you have to get in order on your website, systems that you have to put in place to be successful. And so I continue to learn and progress in terms of my own knowledge and try to use that to make more successful websites for myself. And I would love to work with you folks and learn the business and learn as much marketing, as much online marketing information and experience as I can get. And I feel like this is a good position for me because it's sort of a mediating position, or it's not something, it doesn't sound like something where I'm really implementing, or where I'm really coming up with the strategy, that I'm implementing the strategy. And I think that will be interesting from my perspective, just because I'll get to see sort of how you guys handle your strategy and basically learn from it in the process and hopefully hone some of my skills in the process. So, so please consider me for this position. Thanks so much.